All right, everybody, let's hope that we have better luck this time bringing our guest on board. I am Shanna Fuld. I am your host. I host the Israel Daily News podcast, and I recently decided to start doing a series of live interviews on Thursdays because I am pre-recording things, and I thought how great it would be to come on, show some face, get some fresh voices, and get to see them. And so on Thursdays, I'm going to be highlighting a series of women around Israel. Oh, and Ira is joining us. Okay, not yet. No answer from the live video guest. She should be with us in just a moment. So what I would like to do is talk about how Ida is about to join us. Okay, so it says that she wants to be in my video. I'm going to approve her request, and hopefully we will be able to connect. Yay, there she is. Hi, Ira.
Hi.
How are
Yes. Amazing. I will just post
great.
it also
Just
in
give
my
me one moment and let's get started. Yay.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so sorry I couldn't join before. There were some technical issues, but I'm very, very excited to be here with you guys. Yeah, thank you.
That is no problem at all. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
So let's get started. So the Israel Daily News is doing a Thursday series with women around Israel who are successful and who have made changes, and maybe they switched careers or maybe they switched languages. And when I got to meet you, I thought that you were the perfect contestant for it, and I'm really excited. So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about where you come from and how you got started in the industry?
First of all, thank you so much, because you said a successful woman, and it's really a big deal for me, like, as someone considers me as that one. Well, if I have to tell about myself, so I was born in Russia, in Khabarovsk, which is 7 hours of flight from Moscow. So if I want to get to Moscow from where I live now in Tel Aviv, I have to fly for 4 hours, and then I have to fly to visit my parents who are still live there for another 7 hours on the flight. So it's very far away from here. And I came here all by my own on the age of 15. It was a program Na'aleh of Sochnut, and I arrived to kibbutz Yotavta.
So just for the people who don't know, what the Sochnut is, it's the Jewish agency in English, right?
Of course, yes. In Hebrew, it's Jewish agency, but in Hebrew, it's Sochnut. In English, it's a Jewish agency. So I arrived to kibbutz in the very south of Israel, next to Eilat. It's called Yotavta. And I was studying there for 3 years. Then I went to the army, Israeli army. It was all, it was all regular. And then I've decided after the army that I will go and study communications and journalism in university. I didn't dream of working in this area because I didn't know Hebrew when I came here. So my Hebrew was like, my second language, but nothing like my mother language or something like that. So I moved to Tel Aviv at some point at the age of 20, and I've started studying communications. And after that, I was waitress, and I just know a girl that was working on TV show, and then no one wanted to hire me because I didn't have any experience and I didn't have any connections. I don't have a parent here or someone I know that could,
How old were you when you were trying to get in there?
So I just knew someone because I was a waitress at the coffee house.
How old were you at the time? How many years old?
I was 23.
Okay, so we're at 23, and then, you're a waitress, you're trying to get your foot in the door, and everyone's telling you, you have no experience, no thank you.
Yeah, no. So I was a bartender at that time at the Agadi restaurant, and I said, okay, you know what? I only know you at the TV industry. I don't know anyone else. You don't want to hire me because I don't have any experience, but how can I have any experience if you don't hire me? So, okay, you hire me without any payment. I do not suggest that for people, but I did that because I think it's, it's exploitation of people. But back then I didn't know, because I said, okay, I will do my bartender and I will do my waitressing to make living. and I will work for free, so I will get some experience. So the next job I will have will be like, you know, for real. So that's what I did. My first job was without any salary. I worked during the day at the restaurant, during the night, and during the day I was working on TV show. And that's how I got experience. And my next job after a year, it was already with salary and everything. But I did, it was, you know, 2003. I didn't have any idea how can I make it. So I did it that way. That was my way to get into the TV industry.
First of all, that's super admirable that you were working two jobs. I know a lot of people do that so that they can achieve their passions. So, kol hakavod, all the respect goes to you.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you enjoyed about waitressing? Was there anything like that maybe helped you or aided you in life?
Sure, I think waitressing is the best job for like 20s or even before. Or even after, because you meet a lot of people. Israel is very strong for the community that we have, for the people that we have here, okay? Young people are connecting very well, everyone willing to help. So the girl, when I told her that I'm looking for a job on TV, but I don't have any connection, she said, right, I have someone that knows someone that knows someone. If you only tell what your passions are to the people that you know, after we go through Corona and we actually meet people. But if you only tell that to the people you know here in Israel, you will always get supported, because people here, it doesn't matter if they're Olim, repatriants, or local citizens, everyone wants to help you since you're new and since you're, you know, trying to make your way. I think Israel is very special in that one specifically.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So so you said that you did not have any dreams of being a newscaster when you were growing up. Is that right?
Well, actually, I wanted to be an actress.
Classic news reporter thing to do. You wanted to be an actress. You wanted to be lights, camera, action. You wanted to maybe do some writing and some expression. I know that story well. So you wanted to become an actress. And why journalism? Did you think it was the more professional, attainable goal?
Actually, I finished my army, and then I start, okay, what should I study in university? And then I will study an acting. And then my teacher in acting from the kibbutz, I told her that, and she said, you know what? You're in Israel on your own, without any parents. You need to take care of yourself. Do something else that may be somehow related to acting. I said, okay, journalism, fine. But today, I feel like
do that, and yeah,
I don't know. But today I feel like it was the right decision for me, because I really need to be heard. My opinions need to be heard. And as an actress, you have a lot of ways to express yourself, but not, you know, the way that journalist does.
It makes total sense. And one thing that's beautiful about working in a newsroom is everyone is so creative. Everybody is a journalist, but maybe they write poetry on the side. Maybe they act on the side. Maybe they're an artist. There's lots of creativity in the newsroom. So what I wanted to know is you actually have a strong chess background. And I became aware of you because of the piece that you wrote in English for the Times of Israel, in which you highlighted the real Queens Gambit. And I thought that was so awesome. Everything about it. I loved your picture. I loved the chess. I loved you had a serious emotion on your face. Can you tell us why was writing about the real Queens Gambit important for you? And before we get there, just for those who don't know about the Queen's Gambit is a very popular TV series that came out on Netflix, and it highlighted the life. I'm sorry?
The most popular.
The most popular, and it highlights the life of a young woman who goes on to become a world chess champion, which is unusual. And you see, I mean, here in New York City, there are ads of Keira Knightley, famous actress from Pirates of the Caribbean, playing chess. So it really, really got a big highlight in the global marketing scene. So you write this story and you tell us what really happens there. Why is that important?
It was an important thing to me because I write a lot about women and about women power, and I want to empower women. And this series, what it's did, it's really empowered this girl that was playing chess, and she was so powerful, but it's only a fairy tale, because in the real world, in the real chess, I knew that no girl can become what she became. I don't want to make a spoiler because I've already heard that I'm talking about this series, and everyone is that, you are making a spoiler, I can watch it right now. But it's really, it's like, I watched it and I said, okay, but you never play with guys in professional competitions, because there are categories for a woman, and then you're categorized as a woman. And woman, it's like in running, and it's like in it's any other sport. Chess is categorized. Women and men are playing separately when they're getting categories, and when they're getting their championships. So when I was young, I was playing chess, and we had like competitions as a group. So we had 5 boards, and first board is the most powerful player in the group, and the last one, the 5th one, is for the woman in the group. So it doesn't matter if she's a strong one; she always plays at the last board. And I said, like, it's a nice fairy tale, and it makes a good sense that people are talking about it. But I have to say, what's the real thing is. It's not like that today. Like never was.
So unfortunately, there are 5 rounds of chess sectors when you go to a competition, and the 5th one is for the weakest one, and the women are placed there in the weakest category.
When you are competing, as a group, yeah, as a group. When you're competing by yourself, you are playing with men, but not in the formal competition. When you're getting your graduated, and when you're getting your scales, and you're getting to be a master or something like that. So you can never, there never can be a woman for a man. And everybody knows who it is. Okay, today is this Danish guy, Carlson, and no one knows who the woman is today, even me. So there is no woman who is world champion of the world, of chess. Not such a thing today.
So I think that we should all be very grateful for your piece, so that we can bring some attention to that, and hopefully so that women who are just equally as excellent at playing chess, if not better, should have, it's all in here. It's all in here. So they should have just equal as opportunities. Now, I want to move away from chess and ask you about one of your biggest, most successful stories. And just to give everyone an understanding, you often cover consumer reports. So you talk about the trends and the finances, how much people are spending on what. I found that personally very interesting. Can you talk to us a little bit about what it's like to be a consumer reporter, and what was a highlight story for you that stands out?
Yes, for me, I was trying to explore for a very long time why Israel is so expensive country to live in. I think that everyone who moves from abroad, everyone knows that. Everyone who lives here knows that. But especially if you move from wherever, you pay attention of how difficult is that to make living here. It's like you're going to the supermarket and you're like, oh, my whole salary went there. Okay, where did it go? So I was just spending a lot of time on comparing prices from Israel to other countries, and it was always so expensive. So I just started, to talk to politicians and ask them these questions. Why is that? And, there are usual answers like, we have the army, we're always at war, we have a lot of taxes and stuff like that. But I think that finally, it all goes to some other, finally it's of course taxes and stuff like that, but it all goes to us being a small country. Think about it, okay? When you're one person, you go to the supermarket, you buy only for yourself a small amount of things, but it's only for yourself. When you're a big family, you buy maybe more, but for each person, it become less, okay? It's less amount. So us being isolated, we are like an island here because we have, all the other countries that are not, we cannot travel to other countries through Lebanon, by train. So we are isolated, small country with a little population, and that's the reason for it's very, very expensive to import things here. And there are always the politicians that you can blame, and I would love to do that in another interview, I guess. But yeah, that's the question that I would was spending a lot of time to really researching.
Okay, great. So basically, the issue is that it's a small country and we're not trading with our neighbors, and every individual item that comes into Israel is so expensive. So if you would compare it, let's say, to the United States, where there are millions and millions of people spread out everywhere, there is so much supply, and therefore each household gets has to pay a little bit less. Is that the idea?
It's for the ability of the importers to bring it that it would be worse for them. So if they can sell it more to the more population, so they can sell it for less. Okay. You see, as we are a small country, they have to, and then we are spending more money. I think but I think there are ways to make it better, and our politicians are not aware of that because they're aware of something else, their own.
All right. Well, I am sure that we will be looking forward to you writing something up. Someone wrote here, even Israeli produce is more expensive. Now that's interesting because Israeli produce is coming from within Israel. So
everything is expensive here because it's all together. The taxes, and it's all expensive somehow. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that
question.
question.
If you want other reasons, I can give you. Yeah.
Great. So last question for you is, what is your advice to people who are moving to Israel or living in Israel, and they either need to learn a new language in order to be able to succeed in the career that they want, or maybe they have to change their career entirely to match what the market is looking for? What's your advice?
So, as a new repatriate myself, as a Ola Chadasha, as I was, I think that we all should use this special thing that's why we are coming to Israel. Israel is very strong by the strong community. People are warm, people are welcome. We feel a strong feeling of belonging here, right? We want to be here not because it's expensive, not because it's hot, not because we feel a strong feeling of belonging because the feeling of community, because people are so nice and warm, okay? So I think that even if you are making your career or you have some, other ambitions, you have to be more open about what you wish for, to reach people that you are, tell them what you actually need from them, okay? So I'm living here without my family, and always I had intentions to go to make Rosh Hashanah here and Pesach there. And at the beginning, when I needed to find a new job, so I was like, okay, how would I find this job? So I was calling people I know and asked them, okay, can you please tell me, do you know someone maybe looking for a new researcher on TV? And I felt so bad as Russian. I know that Europeans and Americans will feel that bad also, but in Israel, it's like, okay, you can call me and ask for anything, like to watch my child or to walk my dog. It's okay here, we're all friends, we're all family. And people always was like really, really glad to help me. And I really, really want to inspire people to approach to those who are their friends or maybe people that they work with, and just tell them, okay, I need that. I would love to have that. I'm alone in Israel. I just came here. I need some help. And I think people will help them because we are a strong community here, and people only feel good helping others. Of course, if you're a new repatriant or you're new in Israel, people are always glad to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that advice. And I think that the important takeaway is don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say what you're looking for, what your passion is, what you want, what you need. and shout it from the rooftops so that you can achieve it. So thank you so much
Yes.
for joining us.
Small country, big opportunities.
Small country, big opportunities. I love that.
Yeah. That's who we are.
That's great. Thank you, Ira, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you, Shana, so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure talking to you and to the audience here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the show. You can tune in to the Israel Daily News podcast. I am producing this on a weekday basis, and you can listen in. You can find it on Spotify, on Apple, on Google, anywhere that you look for the podcast, you can find it. And this is just going to be our special report that we have, which I do weekly on Thursdays, and they are now going to be live segments. If you want to know more about the Israel Daily News podcast, I will tell you. It is a roundup of the top 5 stories coming out of Israel. I give each story about a minute and 30 seconds, where I give you the headline, a little bit of information, move on to the next one. It's energetic, it's exciting, and on Thursdays, we always have a special report. Also, every Israel Daily News podcast ends with music from an up-and-coming Israeli artist. So I will tell you that if you know anyone who is looking to get their music out there, send it my way. And everyone, have an excellent weekend. For those of you who are celebrating Christmas, please enjoy, have a Merry Christmas, and have a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.